Good evening, one and all. Hope you all are doing great. This is Sonia Flavin, teacher from BYD World School, welcoming you all to a second episode of Pep Talk Show. Dr. Yashwantrao Dode World School has been keeping pace with the changing trends in the education system. Besides the core focus on academics and co-curricular, it also aims in inducing a professional career outlook and or by helping the students to acquire the wisdom for the profession. We all agree that this era is of specialization, and there are so many unconventional professions to be unfolded besides the traditional ones. So, to avoid the confusions at the junctions of the future path, we gear up our students from grade 6 onwards by guiding them to prepare for the competitive exams like IIT, CET, NEET, NATA, NID, UCED, and many more. DYD World School has raised the curtains to a prep talk show to create awareness and to expose our young minds to various career options. So, over to our host, Mr. Rajesh Anand, a well known personality of the performing art world. And he's also associated with DYD World School for many years now. Today, he will be interacting with a well established product designer in our second episode of Prep Talk Show, a candid chat show with the professionals for our aspiring professionals. This will be followed by a question answer session. So, all of you can write to us your questions in the chat box below. Also, before we move ahead, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Good evening, everybody. This is Rajesh Anand. Welcome to this fresh news segment by Dr. Yashwantrao Dode World School, a candid chat with professional for aspiring professionals. Prep Talk. DYD World School is ICSC affiliated school in Mulund. Not just academics, we have dance, drama, music, yoga, and sports. We are preparing students for various competitive exams like JEE, CET, NATA, NID, and UCEED right from grade 6. This prep talk is a part of a process for preparing students from future grade 6 onwards for their future. Why grade 6? As a student of grade 6 is almost 12 years old and is on the threshold of development aspects like critical analysis, better concept understanding, abstract thinking. So this age when a child can be counseled and guided. We will be mentoring the students for verbal reasoning, mathematical skill, critical and logical thinking. This prep talk is a part of a process of preparing students from grade 6 onwards for the future. Okay, before we begin, I would like to tell you all that this talk show will be followed by an open question answer session. So please feel free to write your questions on our guest in the chat box. Also, do not forget to post your comments on today's talk as it will help us to upgrade and improve the show as we go on. And lastly, do not forget to like, share, subscribe the channel. Okay, our guest for today, Mr. Saumitra Vaidya, founder and CEO of 711 Designs, vehicle and product designer from the Coventry University, England, and masters from the MIT Design Pune, assistant director of United World Institute of Design, Ahmedabad. He's been working for over a decade as a designer and innovator of various organizations. He's experienced in sectors like electric vehicles, heavy vehicles, consumer products, heavy machine designs, R&D for farming sector vehicles, medical equipments, etc. His key professional strengths include driving designs from initial concept to final release, encompassing user research, design thinking, design management, ideation, design refinement, prototype modeling, and production. He quotes a very interesting quote: "Design always helps me grow and it gives me immense pleasure of solving problems in a very different and a creative way." Amazing, sir. Sir, on behalf of Mrs. Shweta Dode, our chairperson, Mr. Rajesh Dode, our secretary, Dr. Piyush Dhara Saran, our academic director, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you on board the Prep Talk. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh sir, and thank you everyone for inviting today.
Wonderful, sir. Sir, before we begin, I would just want to know the concept. What exactly is product design?
Okay, so guys, have you ever wondered how you how the products around you look like, why they are like that? If you just get up in the morning and you go to your wash basin and you find out a fancy new toothbrush, is it exciting? Like, it looks red, it looks green, it looks purple. So every morning you see that brush and you get excited. Okay, today morning is a good morning. So such products which makes your life beautiful in a daily basis, and it makes comfortable. That is what is product design, to make daily lives beautiful as well as comfortable. So that is a profession called product design. Every time you look at any product, it feels you energetic, it makes you comfortable, and it makes a smile on your face.
All right. So, what I understand out of this is product designing is hidden in little things of our everyday life. It's not just something massive that we need to look around outside. It's hidden in little things, like Sir said, toothbrush, toothpaste, and little things that we use in our everyday life. So I hope students, you're taking note of what Sir is saying. Sir, the next thing I would like to ask you is there any particular subject or any entrance exam that our kids need to take to pursue this career, as a product designer?
Yes, there are few tests for, where you have a certain category of questions which makes a kid to understand how he wants to think, what products can be taken up, or what stream he is related to. Because product design is a vast field. It contains vehicles, it contains your poster design, it contains your mechanical products, it contains your aesthetic products. So there are tests called USEED or design tests, which we call design aptitude test. So every college has different kind of tests. There's NID, which conducts a usual test every year. For IITians, it is a different test. So there are certainly like an entrance test how we give it for architecture, engineering, or for CA also. So there is also a certain entrance test.
So I would like to know, how did you take up this profession? Because there are so many unconventional professionals around you. There is being a lawyer, being a doctor, being so many things, cricketer, dancer, singer, actor. Why did you choose product designing? It's such and what do you say? Um, Totally outbeat or offbeat profession that I have heard of. What made you think and what made you take up product designing?
So, as everyone has a typical background, so we also had three or four streams at the time when I was finishing my school, or in my school days. We always used to hear there's a career in architecture, there's a career in engineering, or you become a doctor. So these were the three streams. But I was not that much keen about learning, going into the same sector, and I was looking out something which has an art background as well as it will have a technical backing, and I don't have to study only one part of the sector, but I would love to see it like an all around kind of thing which I can implement. So I was searching for this kind of a field, and uh, by everyone's blessing, this field was not so common at that time, and people were not knowing what exactly is product design. Or even today, if we are known to interior design and other fields, but product design is not yet that much influenced. But going online, searching for how this designs has been done and everything, I started learning that there is a field called product design, which includes art, architecture, engineering, technology, and vision. So this all, so there was a saying in our school days, is like jack of all and master of none. But today, when being in the design field, what I feel is, it's like jack of all and master of design, because you have to learn some or the other things, and you have to implement in your design. So I would say that is what made me to think, because I always had a curiosity to learn something every time you have to challenge, and every time you have to place an input about something. So I would say that when you start looking at things in a very wider way, this is like a perfect field to get into, and you have to be very curious about it.
So you take up any profession. Before we step out of the house with an idea saying that, okay, I'm going to pursue this, or I'm going to take up this field, or I'm going to just do this for the rest of my life and I don't want to do anything else. It all starts from within the house. I'm talking about the family. What is the kind of support you received from your family? Or was there any mentor in your family or your immediate family or anybody that you know in the relative who was like, oh God, this guy is doing something different in our family because everybody's going to job, but this guy is doing something different and it's very interesting and I would like to learn that. So is there anybody in your family who mentored you or who inspired you to take this up? And you said that, okay, I'll do this because it looks, I feel very passionate about this thing. So anybody from the family who supported you, sir?
First question is yes. My of course parents supported me a lot. Of course, they didn't have same any background or anything from art and design field at such educational wise. My family is mostly into finance and kind of different part, the mathematical parts. But yeah, of course, few influence came from my mom. She's like more of into art and everything. But of course, it was totally like, you can take up interest, and I was exposed to a lot of art and different fields. Uh, Blessings I got from my parents is they always looked and tried to expose me to new and new technology, because whenever I used to see a gadget, my dad used to take me to either malls or something to just look at that gadget. Or he used to say, like, whenever you buy a gadget, it should always be fully loaded. Or you never buy a gadget which is like, just an average or the starting thing. Whenever you buy a gadget, if even if it might be a cycle or scooter or a car, it should be fully loaded. So that made me curious, like what is the difference between the basic and the fully loaded. So that is kind of backing which I got every time whenever I used to buy a gadget or any product for that matter. Buy a product which has all features, not a single feature product. You buy a product which has all features. So this maybe indirectly this was a backing from my family, which continuously is there still now. But yeah, that is where it started.
All right, excellent, sir. This goes out to all the students of the YDWS. I just wanted to tell you all, once you create a passion in your head or once you create a field in your head that this is where I want to head, immediately just take out time, just make your parents sit in front of you, discuss it out so that you feel that there will be some kind of support that will pour in from them. I hope you all are watching and I hope you all are taking notes from sir, because this is a very valid point. This is all it all starts from. Okay, so moving on. Sir, how did you make this decision of becoming a product designer?
So I always wanted to search something new. I always wanted my life to be challenging. Of course, we have a different challenges, but had a kind of attention to details. Wanted to look something better. Whatever product I'm using, how it came from, why it came from. There is always one thing going on in back of mind. Why? That why made me do this. That why, always why Ferrari looks like a Ferrari, why it is sold at 1 crore or maybe 2 crores or some. That why has always pushed me towards this field. So answering to that why, I have spent a decade now. So yeah, so this is why I chose product design as a field, because if each and everything I can go deep, I can understand, and whatever product I like, I can choose and design it.
Sir, just one word changed your entire life. The word was why. Sir, I just want to know your thoughts because when you must have started taking up product designing, I'm sure there were no internet at that point. How did you manage to do your research? How did you manage to catch hold of people? Whether it's books or ebooks, ebooks weren't available then. You'll have to go through a library or find out about people, and you need to, if you have to meet a legend, you need to go there where he is. Because today we have got everything on our palms. The internet is gotten into our homes and it's gotten into our systems, and we know that if we don't know anything, we just have to type that word, and the word, there are like 50,000 what you say substitutes to that one little product that we are finding for. During those days, sir, when you began, how was it, and how difficult was it, or how easy was it for you to climb the ladder that you have climbed it till now? What was it, that one force that got you up here, apart from your passion? I'm talking about today we have the internet, and we're 99% dependent on the internet. If it's not possible by the internet, then we make some effort to go to that place and find out about it. But otherwise, we would like to sit at home and we would like to find it out on our laptops or on our IDs or on our iPads or whatever we have. I would like to know your thoughts on this, sir.
Okay, so small story. During my school days, once I had my schooling some part in one of the suburb in Mumbai, and uh, like later on, I am very keen traveler of train traveling as Mumbai's lifeline, and I always used to see this, paper stalls and magazine stalls, and they used to hang around nice magazines, so car magazines or product magazines or tech magazines, T3 stuff, smart photography and all. They used to display superb kind of products. So usually these magazines used to cost above 100 or 200, something like that. So it used to be always in a bigger range. And one day I started, look, no, now this year I spoke to my dad and like, no, I want to buy this for an year subscription. You just get it. So he got the Cars magazine as a subscription, and I started learning about, different things. And in that magazines, they used to show some few sketches. So that moment, like, I understood that cars are sketched. I mean, drawing is used to design a car. That was the first thing which was a point. And in the meantime, I think dial-up connection came up, and I started to search. We used to get dial-up connection at night, and at that time I used to search for some drawing classes to where I can start and how I can take up this career and take it further. So because train traveling was so exciting, and I used to take one magazine and try to cut out all those nice cars, nice pictures. And at the same time, a big name in the industry hit up called Dilip Chabria, and that name hit up, and the newspaper were flooded with his car designs, his nano designs, his Mahindra designs, his Innovas and all. From that, the journey became more, the bridge started building up, and I started to climb the bridge. Okay, now, yeah, there is some field which can be taken up, and that can be the road. And I tried to speak with my parents, and they of course supported me. They found out few classes, and yeah, that's where it started all. And it was a little bit difficult to find out the brochures and kind of stuff, but on paper stalls, that was the main thing. You have to visit paper stalls. Now they don't exist. I don't know if they exist now anymore, but they used to exist. Yeah.
I know, sir, and every researcher is to heavily depend on that. Sir, the beginning of this particular question, you started off with the word school. And I feel the most important factor in any professional's life, in any individual's life, is school. Sir, what are the basic skills? I talk about the most basic skills that like you spoke about drawing, that first thing that you need is a sketch. Like there is a perspective drawing and there are so many other drawings that you have. What is that basic skill that a kid has to know or has to have within her or him, or can develop at a very tender age of 6th grade, that you feel that skill and that basic ability that the kid needs to have to become a product designer, sir?
One is drawing, like you said. And second is imagination. So the more you imagine, the more you can draw. And see, if our hand is a brain. So the more you imagine, the more you are curious. You should start drawing at very entry level, or at any stage for that matter. And third thing, which I will say, be curious about knowledge, and whatever knowledge you are getting in school days has a wide influence. Maybe it's history, it's geography, maybe it's any kind of subjects, English. There are stories which built up a design language for you. If I would take a subject like history is all about different eras, Mughal era, British era. So whenever you even you go to CST, you see this big VT station that is from British era. So the design has influenced lot of things. So even if just a lesson from history can help you up to imagine what the future can be, or you can study the future from what you have seen the past. So every subject in your school is very important. At the same time, start imagining and draw. So these are two basic skills, that will take you places.
Absolutely. And our school, our principal is also stressed upon, and is going to be introducing and already introduced a few parts of perspective drawing, memory drawing, and still life drawing. Like sir said, kids who all are watching, like sir said, sketches, drawings are the most important part that you start with. These are the basics that you start with to become a designer, a product designer. Sir, I would like to ask you another one. The thing is, what is the job responsibility of a designer? Means what does a designer come up with so many responsibilities? What is his responsibility towards the job and towards the society of whatever he's creating?
So first thing, every designer needs is he needs to solve a problem. Second, he needs to keep a vision that when the product basically comes in the market, it takes minimum 2 years to hit the market the way it wants has to be. So you have to predict, you have to have that vision, you have to imagine the scenario, what is going to be in next 2 years. Say if I'm designing a product in maybe just when the COVID started and it is going to hit the market uh, after COVID. So exactly, I have to see the trend going on. It is going touchless. It has to have a lot of other factors, because the COVID scenario has changed it totally. People are not touching things. So we have to think in a predictive way, because that is going to be in the market. So you have to be, first thing, imaginary. You have to have a vision how the product is going to be in the market. Third thing, you have to predict the trend, or you have to set the trend. So today you have to look at that. And fourth is management, that you learn in your duration. So these are the main factors which a product designer has to play.
Sir, what are the prospects once you take a product designing? What are the prospects as to where will it take you to the world, and what will it expose you to? So what are the prospects of being a product designer, sir?
So being a product designer, it's a beautiful life, I think. It makes you travel places, it makes you learn a lot of things. It You never feel you do a job, first thing. And second thing, you always feel like it's like a game. You're playing and playing and playing. It's like you switch on your PSP and you just start playing. That is how I feel. Every time I take up a new design, it's like a new game. I have to cross the levels, and it's so enthusiastic. Like I don't know. I'm also smiling right now, because it is so enthusiastic. As you know, I've been to places, and whenever you go to a place, you also understand, start learning the new cultures of every state, every country, wherever you go. So this is like, being a designer, and the way it develops your life is super.
Okay, I would like to add to that. So for our sixth grade onwards students, um, I just asked sir about the prospects and he answered as to what he feels about the whole thing. I would like to just elaborate on that from the school. Is we at DYD World School, we prepare students for professional courses from the grade 6th. We mentor them from grade 6 to grade 8 for verbal reasoning, for critical thinking, for logical thinking, for mathematical skills. Now, after they pass 8th grade, we'll administer an aptitude test. And according to the results of the test, we will be mentoring them for the various professional courses. Sir, now since I'm talking about school, I would like to take you back to your school days, because that is where it all develops from, whether it's our friends, whether it's our family, whether it's whatever. Those are the best days of anybody's life, is the school day. So do you feel in your school, was there one missing factor that you feel that, oh, I wish this was there in our school? And like you said, there was no internet, but I have to go through these various libraries where they have kept these books, and I have to go and ask that person that, if that book is not available in that particular library, you have to find another one. But today that is not the case. Today we got everything on our fingertips. So do you feel in your school life, was there that one factor that was missing, sir? Kindly enlighten us.
Hands-on work, I feel like, so a lot of people have this paperwork and paper cutting, and we used to make small models, but that was always for option. I mean, that's the best part. I mean, drawing, designing, and handicrafts is for an option. You have other factors, which is, you can concentrate on math, science, languages. Of course that has to be there, but at the same time, to be a designer, like I said initially, you have to have the skills. Rather than having that skills, the development of that skill happens in that age, which I feel, you, if you start even learning basic origami, that is very useful for today, just to know about the material. Material can be paper. There are 100 types of papers today available. So just to know about the paper or pencil, what you can do wonders with just paper and pencil. But that nobody told us. I mean, it is for an option. So for in my school days, it was for option, but yeah, nowadays it will be a changing trend.
So today, in today's era, uh, things which were considered a luxury then, like for example, a yoga class or a dance class, today the kids have it in their curriculum, right from they're in the kindergarten, not even the first grade or in pre-primary or in primary or in secondary. They have it right from kindergarten. I'm talking about our school. We have it from that level, sir. Sir, what was that one thing that you feel, in your school, during your school days, should have been taught right from that level? It would have helped you loads to take it up, or people like you, or students like you, or professionals like you would have helped you loads, if that one little thing would have introduced right at a very ripe age. If you feel, and you can just enlighten us with us, sir.
Art and culture, that would be, I think that answer is crisp. Like art and culture, Indian art and culture, that could have been a best thing.
Okay, sir, uh, in your school lives, we all have interesting things happening. We all have that one thing which changes our life forever. Or if we meet one person who change our outlook towards life, or something that we would like to take it up. I would just like to narrate one small thing. I was in school, I think it was in the 8th grade. Michael Jackson visited India, and it changed my whole thing about how a show is being performed. and I just didn't want to do anything else except for to dance and to teach dance. Sir, would you just share one experience that you had as a product designer? Uh, one story which has changed you and will remain with you for the rest of your life, which you'll never forget. You'll never forget that person. You'll never forget that moment. Uh, just help us with us so that we get inspired listening to you, sir, on that. Sir.
Okay, I'll narrate a small short story. Uh, I used to remember my first year in my college. I started as a product designer and never had. I was in UK, England, the totally different culture and everything. And at that time, Macintosh was only word which I knew about Apple as a brand, because we used to get a CD with one is Microsoft, another is Macintosh. So I never had any knowledge of what is Macintosh. So later on, understanding this brand called Apple, and understanding how they take care of product, and uh, one day they launched this phone which is full screen phone. And just to watch that phone, I mean, just watch, not actually see and or touch or anything. You just have to watch that phone. You have a long queue, and the phone was kept in a big huge room. I mean, you just can see that phone from outside. You can't touch it, you can't do. And that day I understood one thing, that your design should be so beautiful that people are going to stand in the queue from 4:30 a.m. while it is snowing, and they will be standing for your phone to just see it, not just touch it or anything. Second scene which happened, I was working as a designer in India, and fortunately I got few things. I was traveling a lot and I wanted to come back to Mumbai. And that time, one of the industry mentors, I always looked up to him. I won't mention his name right now, but yeah, I was always looked at him as mentor, and I was always wanted to work with him. And he called me up for an interview, and I like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll go for an interview, because I just wanted to shift back to Mumbai because I was traveling a lot, and I was like, okay, let's come back to Mumbai and do something. So he called me up and he said, like, okay, your work is fine, everything is fine. In design field, you are always judged on the work, not on the the curriculum, but you have to create a portfolio and design and to show your all work, whatever you have been doing, what products you have designed. So we usually show the portfolio to the people for the work and everything. So portfolio speaks more than the degrees what we do. So more, even though you have good degrees, and if you don't have a better portfolio, you might not land up in the job. So both is equally important, degrees as well as the portfolio. So he said, like, I can offer you a job, but the salary what you are expecting is not uh, really in the sector. So I said, I'll give it a thought. At the same time, my one of my friend and partner, so he called me up from Chennai and like, let's start up a company, a design company. Uh, Fortunately, I said yes. I'm like, okay, and there's nothing to do right now, and I didn't think of it anything, and I just, okay, we'll start up a company. We started 1 year later. We started, participating in a lot of competitions, and the one moment in my life changed everything. To look as myself as a designer is like, we won that competition. It was a 24-hour challenge. It was organized by Dell Technologies. We won that challenge, and the judge was exactly the same person who uh, said, like, you can do something better. And he was the person who was going to hire me for a job. But exactly 1 year later, he said, when you meet a mentor or you meet your idol person, he says, like, we always say na, हम शाहरुख खान को जानता है. So that was that moment that I know you. So Shahrukh Khan himself told me, like, okay, I know you. I was like, oh wow, that is super. So that was one moment in my life which is like, I mean, that's it. I mean, I don't want to say anything else, because that is the best moment in your life which changes everything. The ideal person, he knows you. That's the big thing.
Absolutely. And sir, on this note, I would like to tell all the students to keep it simple and to put it in one line. Be true to what you do, and the result is exactly what sir told you. He went to somebody to ask for a job, and one fine day he was standing and taking an award, receiving an award from that very person. That means how true he is to his job and how passionate he is. Sir, it was wonderful talking to you. We had a very, very, very nice time listening, talking, and getting inspired by all the words, but all the lines, all the experience that you shared with us, sir. We wish you all the very well and all the very best for the future. But before we wind up for today, I have one question from one of our viewers. I would just like to read it out to you. Sir, what aspects are there in product designing? What are different aspects in product designing, sir?
So product design actually it's a big field. You can choose a single product and go through towards it. It can be a car, and you can choose that field, or it can be electronics, consumer electronics, or you can actually do gifting products also. So it's a vast field. Whatever you like. I just like to design wristwatches, so you can actually take up a job with Titan, Rolex, and so it depends on what kind of things you like.
Sir, I know you started off from very small, and everybody does. I just want to ask, how should a good product design start? Means, if I'm designing a product, how do you feel that the process should start? As in, where you have to start it from, sir?
It all starts from a paper and pen sketch. It has to come from your heart. It always comes from your heart, and it always has to start with a sketch. That is the only funda. That is the only hard work you can keep. Everything will
They
fall
come
in
from the heart.
place.
Sir, one of our little viewers is asking, what was the latest product you designed, and how did you get an idea on designing it?
Okay, so the latest product which we designed was a portable eye surgery simulator.
Portable
Eye surgery
eye
simulator.
surgery simulator. Okay.
So it's a beautifully designed product, and the day I saw that product, I fell in love with it. And one question was whether I can redesign this product. And second thing I did, like, I started hating it, because I know if I love this product, I will not design it. So the same time I started hating it, and I went off from that product far away, that I will not look at that product, because it was so beautifully designed. It's like, looking at a beautiful art piece, and then you can't distract it, right? And then I went back, I came home, I sat very silently, paper and pen. I started sketching myself. If that product is not in front of me, how would I design it? How would it translate my thoughts towards making the product very compact? That is, again, it started. But the first thing is, if you can't find a problem in this product in front of you, go away from it and start hating the product. Then you will find out something. So that was a what you can say, the process I tried, because this was the first time, it's like designing a Ferrari.
Excellent, sir. I think we are done with our questions. Um, as I said, I really want to thank you on behalf of our chairperson, on behalf of our secretary, on behalf of our academics director. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for giving your time. We loved listening to you. There is so much to take it back home from you, sir. Wonderful experience and wonderful things that you have learned, you have said, you have shared. I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. There are certain things that even I didn't know about product designing that you have elaborated on. And I thank you personally as well for that. So over to Sonia ma'am. So before that, if you'd like to say something, you're free to say it. So thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Rajesh sir, for inviting. Thank you, DY TWS School. Thank you, Nupur ma'am. Thank you, Piyush sir and Sonia ma'am, and also Ankit sir for all the support. I think Shweta ma'am is also there. So thank you everyone for giving me such an opportunity to talk to everyone. And I hope I have cleared everyone's doubt. Thank you. Over to Sonia ma'am.
Wow, it was quite a perceptive information, and we are obliged to have you here on our show, Mr. Vaidya. I'm sure the knowledge shared will be put in to practice by our young aspirants. Grateful to Mr. Rajesh, who candidly edged all the useful tips. And I would like to thank Dr. Yashwantrao Dode World School to organize this show and also to all our participants. But before we move on, I would like you all do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, as many more will be here to share their perspective, career, and to answer all your queries. Before we end our show, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you, and please do comment for any improvement for our side. This is this is Sonia Flavin signing off. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you all. Sayonara.